Hello, my name is Meibo. I'm a sourcing agent from Guangzhou, China. As you all know, I help business to source products from China. And a lot of you who are watching this video right now might be Amazon sellers. In the past 3 weeks, I have done videos with a successful Amazon seller, Dano Falk, and he shared valuable information on the following topics like product launch checklists, ranking strategies, how to get your product ranked, reviewed, and have organic sales. If you guys haven't watched those videos, you can find those videos in my channel and subscribe to my channel. And today I have Dano again, and he's gonna share the importance of press release for Amazon seller and how to do it. Let's welcome Dano. Hi, Dano.
Hello, Meibo. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too. So today we have the topic on press release.
Yes. We were looking at a few things to talk about, and press releases is one of my favorites because it's very much ignored, I think, by many Amazon sellers. And when I speak to Amazon sellers, very few of them know about this thing, that a press release actually can be used for Amazon sellers and for many other small businesses. And that is actually something to consider, especially when you launch a product, So I wanted to introduce this now to your audience, and so they know that this is something to consider during your product launch phase.
Yes, because I have heard of to get your product review, like what we discussed in the last video. That's quite common. And yeah, like you said, I don't think I've known a lot of people on Amazon does press release. So I think that would be great for them to know, and they get to know the importance of it, because actually maybe that could be something that not many people are doing now. So it's easier for them to tap into that market.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not even limited to Amazon sellers, It's actually a strategy for almost every business to consider. But of course, we are focusing on Amazon sellers, and I will also focus on how this can be used for Amazon sellers.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start.
Yeah, let's do some slides.
Yes.
So this is the topic. How to spread the news about your product launch on 200 over news website, and what this can do for you. So short introduction. I think those who have watched the previous videos can skip this part, but those who are new, just a few words about myself. I'm Dano Falk, founder of DevDevice, Amazon seller, consultant, and digital marketer from Germany who made Malaysia his second home. And I built a FBA business between 2014 and 2019, sold it, and since then I'm focusing on helping other Amazon sellers. What is a press release? A press release is basically a newsworthy article. It has typically a length of 350 to 1,000 words. And it's written in a certain format, which is submitted then to a news network. It can contain images, and it definitely should contain a link to your website or your Amazon listing. And on the right side, you can see basically what this looks like. So it's basically a news article. It has a title, and the title is very relevant, as in what you want to rank for. It can show your product. It can show your brand, So sometimes you can even show several images, and then there's copy, and this copy needs to adhere to these press release standards. So it cannot be salesy. For example, you cannot try to sell something. You cannot say this is the best or my favorite. You cannot even use the word I or my. So it has to be the format of this of the copy has to be very clear, very objective, and it has to be completely facts and features driven. So we're not supposed, to add our personal opinion in this. That's one of the most important parts, how a press release is different from, let's say, a blog post, right? Because on a blog post, you could say whatever you want to say, and you could add your personal opinion. And but a press release needs to be subjective, and I think that's why it's in a news media, because it's supposed to be basically information and neutral. Okay.
That's right.
So, what are the benefits now? If you publish a press release, and many people ask, so, but yeah, I have nothing to write about. But there are a lot of things you can actually write about. So if you have never written a press release about your product, you could simply announce the product launch. I mean, it doesn't have to be yesterday, the launch. It can be some time ago, but still, it is something that is new to the market, which has not been discussed in a press release. So one topic is like a product launch. And then whenever you change something, when you improve something, when there's any news about your brand. So there's a lot of topics you can mention, or you can use as the anchor for this press release. And what happens then, as soon as it's approved and it's released to a news network, it will be published on 200, 300, sometimes over 400 news websites. And what happens then? Google likes news. Google likes like relevant content, which is new and fresh. So Google will pick up these press releases from some of these news websites. I mean, it will not show like your website or your Amazon listing, but it will show the press release, and it will and quite fast. So this happens within 48 hours, mostly after it has been published. So it will rank on Google News and also in other search engines like Bing. And it will also be visible to influencers and affiliates who tend to pick up products featured in the news. So you just create a lot of buzz, and people these releases rank for like multiples keyword combinations from your title. So it's not just one search term they will rank for, but for multiples. And it creates like an instant awareness about what you're doing, about your product, about your service. And that is something not to be underestimated. So just to draw a picture about this, what happened to me in my business, how I went from 10 to 100 sales a day overnight. I published a press release about the product I had, and but I didn't expect any like dramatic changes, anything anything exciting so much, because this is something we need to do over time also. So every time we add to our brand awareness. But this release got picked up by a major computer online magazine called 9 to 5 Mac. And they, I mean, obviously these people are scanning the web for news, for things they can write about. And these guys, without even telling me or without saying anything, they just pick up this release and they wrote an article about my product. And suddenly I saw like sales going through the roof. I didn't understand what's happening first, and I really had to do some research to find this article, which was like in one of the biggest news outlets for Apple on the web. And yeah, so that's what happened with my press release. I mean, I'm not saying this is like the norm. This is not your average, outcome. But this is what can happen if you simply put the news about your product out there.
That's good. So, so you wrote the article and submitted to website?
Press release network, yeah. So how it works is there is a gatekeeper, okay, and there's a so-called distribution network. So you cannot just write something and put it on the website. You have to submit it, and after submitting, it has to be approved. And after it has been approved, it will be distributed to a certain amount of news websites which are connected to this distribution network. So it will, it will go out, and then it will become published. And this process after approval is normally quite fast. And then, and then people can see. People can see this on the news, and Google News, on different networks. And this is what can happen when people simply notice the fact that you have, that this product exists, or that this feature exists with your product, and so forth.
Sounds good. And once you submit it to the network, and your article can be seen on different platforms.
Yeah, so these are, there are like millions of news websites out there, right? So some are local, some are international, some are big, some are small. So there is a lot of different news websites, which, and then a certain portion of these news websites will pick up this article and will publish it.
Yeah.
And they are, this can be Kentucky News, this can be ABC, this can be Yahoo, this can be like a lot of different types of networks and websites.
So it depends on what networks pick up the news.
Well, it's there is a portion of it is quite dependent, quite reliable. So it's quite clear that there will be at least like 200-300 news websites will definitely pick up these articles because of the relationship between the distributor and these websites. And then there will be an optional portion of other news websites which may or may not publish the article. Especially like the big shots, of course, like CNN, they will not simply publish, they will be very, very picky about what they use and what they publish. So it's the chance to get on these like global biggest of all networks is quite slim. But the chance to get on like hundreds and of other smaller news websites is very solid.
Okay.
And a word about the benefits. Ranking is one of them. Okay, so we just had the publicity, but every one of these articles actually has a link back to your listing or to your website. And anyone who knows a bit about SEO knows that backlinks are good for ranking, and they help the blog post or this Amazon listing to show higher in the search results. And Amazon does like backlinks. Amazon does like it when you create traffic from other sources and when you create links from other platforms to a listing. So these things get noticed, and it does also help to rank your Amazon listing. And if you have a blog post, for example, or your brand website, that also gets lifted up in the Google rankings, especially if you do this over time, because every time you're creating like 200, 300, 400 backlinks to your website, and that definitely goes not unnoticed.
Yeah.
And then we have branding. So for every new brand, for every brand who's trying to get some traction and recognition, it's definitely is something very helpful to be mentioned in the media, right? So if there are publications going on multiple websites, and maybe even other bloggers will pick it up and write an article about your brand, about your product. This is a very nice thing to refer to on your website, on your social media. So like, I would definitely post, and I did post about like, look, our product is in the media. And that's a nice thing to have. And you can show, all these news outlet logos on your website. So that is something that can also boost your brand and your brand recognition and your credibility. So these are like the three main benefits I see for the press release: is the branding, the backlinks, and the exposure.
That's good, because that's something like getting because in the last video you talk about getting reviews. Like people can only see the reviews when they are looking at your page, but all these that you just mentioned can lead them to your product page, which is really good and beneficial.
Yeah, true. And it also creates a lot of trust because if I have to choose between two products and one of them I saw maybe in the news and the other one I didn't, I will probably go for the one which has been featured, on news websites. So
That's right.
it's always, it's always a good thing to have behind your brand this kind of publicity, and so yeah, that helps. And a few words about how it works. So we have access to a network of 400 news sites. And so if you choose to use our service, which is an option, you don't have to, of course, you don't have to worry about writing the press release, the PR. So we take care of that. And all you have to do is submit your product details, image, and company details, and so that's how we make press release for Amazon sellers easy. And these are the steps how it works. So you send us all your details. We write the press release for you. We submit it to the news network, and then it gets approved and it gets distributed. And after that, you get a report which shows very, very clearly what happened. So you will get reports like this. The left one here shows all the websites which have picked up your press release. So these are all links. So every single one of these entries is a link to a news site which actually is showing your press release right now. And on this right side, you see like keyword ranking. So what our platform also does, or our distribution partner, is they generate this list of keywords which are ranking on Google right now, and also their position. So you can obviously there are a lot of variation of a 9 or 8 word title, and the software will simply permeate all the variations of the title and of several combinations in the title and see how they rank in Google, and will give you the results. So you will see like some quite surprising results, like some things are ranking actually on page 1 on Google, some are not on page 1, but there's still like a lot of combinations will be ranking on Google. That's the reporting part. So this is the reports is something you get like 3-4 days after the publication.
That's really good, because especially with the keyword ranking.
Yeah. So you get a very detailed overview of what happened. So it's not just you don't have to like take my word like, yes, your release has been published, but you can actually go and click on every single page and see it's there, and you can also link to those pages then. And if you want to share on your social media, on your website, of course you can then refer to those very specific pages. And of course the keyword ranking is also is good to know, which keywords your release is ranking for.
That's really good to know.
Yeah, you can use that as well, Meibo. And there's a next level of we'll call it multimedia press release.
Multimedia, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that one has not just a text, the classical press release, but it also comes with a video, slide share, and a podcast. So the copy that we write will be used to create a video, which will be published on YouTube and Vimeo, and the done for you slideshow will be published on SlideShare, and there will be a blog post published on multiple blogs, and a podcast also. So you get not just the written press release, but you get like the whole, you cover like every single medium, from video to slides to podcasts. So of course the presence is enhanced one more level. So that's an option we offer and all this is done for you. So you don't have to like submit your video or your slides or whatever. You just submit your content and your topic and your images, and we will write the copy, and then we will generate all these mediums for you.
Oh, okay. So for this one, it's also for like a press release as well?
Yeah, so this is also a press release, but it comes in additional to this classic press release. You will also get videos, slide shares, and podcasts. You know, that comes on top. So not only do you get your article on Newswebs, but you also get a video on YouTube or on Vimeo. And you also get slide shares, you know, and slideshows submitted to SlideShare. And so your reach goes even further with this kind of press release. So that's just, that's just like a next level press release, I call it. But that's an option to have even more traction and to be present in even more channels.
Yeah, I guess also people would like to see how this product work in a video or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's not an explainer video. I mean, the video will simply refer to the main things, the main topics mentioned in the written press release. So the video, there will be like a voiceover. It will be read out by a female voice, and there will be a few slides taken from the images in the press release and some from stock photos, which will kind of just illustrate the topic what has been talked about.
Okay.
So so it's just like a short video version of the article. It's not an explainer video. Yeah, there's an automation platform which does this quite sophisticatedly. So it takes all this media, it connects the dots, and it creates. And we can also influence the copy which has been read, the voiceover. So that can be edited, but eventually it's a fully automated process.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and this is where you find us. So if you want to know more about this press release and our service, which we offer the one-off or the monthly press release service. You can simply go to these links or click on the link below the video. I think you will provide a link, right?
Yes, I will put down the link.
Yeah, so that will be easier to just click there. Or if you want to send me an email, it's dano@devdevice.com. And our website is devdevice.com.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing the valuable information again.
Yeah, you're welcome, Meibo. I hope this will help many people. And so I think to leverage press releases is something to consider for almost every business.
Yeah, sure. And I will put down the emails on the information down below and a link along with a link for this service as well. So if you guys interested, you can contact me or Dano for it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Meibo. You have a good day, and see you sometime soon.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.